Gold Cups of the 1980s, starting at the beginning of the decade. The going very testing indeed for that year's renewal. Heavy ground, 15 runners, and the 1979 Whitbread Gold Cup winner Diamond Edge was sent off favourite at 5-2.
Diamond Edge 9-4.
Right, come on then.
Jacket Trumps 9-2 in their running, and Tied Cottage is the first to show from Kaz. Tied Cottage from Kaz. Then comes Master Smudge and MacVitie and Nary Binney and the Vintner and approaching, and Royal Mail and the Snipe, and then Diamond Edge. And Jacket Trumps has nearly gone at the first, very nearly gone at the first. He was 4 from the back and he hit it, belted it hard, and very nearly went. Tied Cottage clear of Kaz and Master Smudge and MacVitie and approaching, and then the Vintner, and then Nary Binney and Diamond Edge, and then comes Royal Mail. Behind them the Snipe and Kill Coleman and Jacket Trumps and Chinrella behind Chinrella. Secret Progress and Border Incident. So Tied Cottage some way clear at the moment from Kaz and Master Smudge and MacVitie, and then the Vintner and Nary Binney on the outside. Approaching on the inner and Royal Mail, and then Diamond Edge, and then comes the Snipe. Behind them Kill Coleman, Jacket Trumps, and then Secret Progress, Border Incident, and Chinrella as they've jumped the third and coming down to the water. And Tied Cottage, I'm just estimating how far he is clear, about 12 to 15 lengths clear as he comes to the water. Tied Cottage just about 15 lengths clear. Over the water from Kaz, then comes Master Smudge and approaching, and behind them Diamond Edge. Then the Vintner. This is the first ditch for the leader, Tied Cottage. He's over a long way clear of Kaz, Master Smudge, Diamond Edge on the outside. Then approaching and MacVitie, and then Nary Binney and the Vintner, and over the 6th, Tied Cottage. About 20 lengths clear now, Tied Cottage and Tommy Carberry. And Diamond Edge has now gone second just ahead of Kaz. Then comes Master Smudge and MacVitie and approaching as the second ditch this is. And Tied Cottage jumps it well, 25 lengths clear at least from Diamond Edge, who jumps it second. Kaz is next, then MacVitie, and then Master Smudge and approaching Royal Mail and Nary Binney, and over the 8th of the 22 fences in all. Tied Cottage with his immense lead. Over in second place, Diamond Edge, then Kaz, then comes Nary Binney and MacVitie, and then Master Smudge, and then approaching and Royal Mail, and behind them come the Vintner and then the Snipe. Behind the Snipe is Border Incident, and then Kill Coleman on the outside of Jacket Trumps, and Chinrella is the back marker. The remainder jumping the 9th, headed by Diamond Edge, with Kaz on his inside. Then comes MacVitie. Then towards the outer is Nary Binney, just in behind them Master Smudge. And now Tied Cottage coming to the next. Over the 10th, a long, long way clear. Coming to the 10th now, Diamond Edge jumps it from Kaz. They're all safely over it. Behind Kaz is Nary Binney. Behind Nary Binney, Royal Mail, MacVitie well there, and then approaching, and then Master Smudge. They are now rounding what will be the home turn on the next circuit. And at this point, they'll have 2 fences to jump next time. But 2 more plain ones now for Tied Cottage, who's a good 15 to 20 lengths clear of Diamond Edge. Let's see him jump this one. Tied Cottage jumps it a long way clear. Now Diamond Edge coming to jump it next. Then comes Kaz and MacVitie and Master Smudge, and approaching and Royal Mail and Nary Binney, and Border Incident has made ground. So's Jacket Trumps. Then comes Kill Coleman. Over the 12th, that was Tied Cottage. Now Diamond Edge. Now Kaz and MacVitie, and approaching and Royal Mail and Border Incident, and Jacket Trumps and Master Smudge and Nary Binney, and behind them come Kill Coleman, the Snipe, and Chinrella. Behind Chinrella is the Vintner, and then comes Secret Progress. And that's the order in the Gold Cup as they go out into the country for the final time. Tied Cottage, about 10 lengths clear now of Diamond Edge in second. MacVitie and Kaz are next, then Royal Mail, then on the inside approaching, then Border Incident, and then comes Jacket Trumps and Master Smudge, then Chinrella and Nary Binney and the Snipe. Behind the Snipe, the Vintner, Secret Progress, and Kill Coleman are now coming to number 13. Tied Cottage over a long way clear of Diamond Edge, MacVitie, Royal Mail, Kaz approaching. Border Incident, Jack of Trumps, behind Jack of Trumps, Master Smudge, and then Chinrella, who's making a little bit of progress, coming down to the water now for, of course, the final time. Tied Cottage jumps it a long way clear of Diamond Edge in second, Royal Mail and MacVitie third and fourth, 5 Border Incident, 6 and 7 are approaching, and Jack of Trumps, and then comes Kaz, then Chinrella making a little bit of ground over the third ditch. Tied Cottage still a long way clear of Diamond Edge. MacVitie on the inner, Royal Mail towards the outer, approaching his next, and then comes Border Incident and Jack of Trumps over the next, and it's Tied Cottage a long way clear of, in second place, Diamond Edge, third MacVitie, 4 is Royal Mail, 5 is Border Incident, 6 and 7 are approaching, and Jack of Trumps, and then comes Chinrella. This is the final ditch, 6 from home in the Gold Cup, and it's still Tied Cottage about 8 lengths clear. Diamond Edge jumps it next. Border Incident's a faller there. Border Incident has gone. And at the top of the hill, it's Tied Cottage still from Diamond Edge in second. Royal Mail, Old MacVitie, just behind MacVitie is Jack of Trumps, and he's gone there. Jack of Trumps a faller at the top of the hill. And as they run down the hill now, with 4 left to jump, it's Tied Cottage from Diamond Edge, approaching, making significant progress. Old MacVitie is in 4th place, Chinrella is in 5th. Coming to the fence now at the top of the hill, Tied Cottage and approaching. Tied Cottage approaching, and Diamond Edge, and then MacVitie. So it's Tied Cottage being pressed now by approaching Tommy Carberry and Bob Davis. Diamond Edge and MacVitie are 3rd and 4th as they come down to the 3rd last fence in the Gold Cup. Tied Cottage over in the lead from approaching second. MacVitie, then Diamond Edge, who made a mistake there. Then comes the Snipe, and then Master Smudge, and then Chinrella. They're racing towards the home turn now, and it's Tied Cottage who's made all the running so far, being pressed by approaching. MacVitie is 3rd, Diamond Edge is 4th. Coming down to the 2nd last fence now. Tied Cottage, who fell at the last fence last year when looking to have it won, is coming to the 2nd last now, pressed by approaching, and old MacVitie running the race of his life. But it's Tied Cottage at the 2nd last. He lands in the lead from MacVitie and approaching 2nd and 3rd. Then comes Master Smudge and the Snipe, and surely he's only got to jump it this time, Tied Cottage. This was the fence that he was undoing last year. Will he jump it this time? He jumps it beautifully. He gets a great reception from the crowd here. It's Tied Cottage from approaching, and MacVitie and Master Smudge, and racing up the hill. Tied Cottage making no mistake this time. Tommy Carberry winning the Gold Cup for the 4th time in his career. Master Smudge putting in a great finish to be second, but at the line Tied Cottage wins it. Master Smudge is second. Old MacVitie is just 3rd ahead of approaching, and then came Chinrella, and behind Chinrella the Snipe, and those are the only finishers in the Gold Cup.
Well, this was the order that they passed the post in the 1980 Gold Cup. Tied Cottage, trained by Dan Moore and ridden by Tommy Carberry, the winner at 13-2. Master Smudge finished in 2nd, with MacVitie, the 15-year-old, finishing in 3rd. But however, it was soon to turn sour for Tied Cottage and his connections after several weeks later a post-race urine sample revealed traces of a banned substance, theobromine, found in a food sample that would have been used by trainer Dan Moore and Tied Cottage, who finished 2nd in the 1977 Gold Cup and fell when disputing the lead at the last in 1979. Was disqualified from 1st place, and the race was awarded to the Arthur Barrow trained Master Smudge, winner of the previous year's Sun Alliance chase, who passed the post in 2nd. Tied Cottage disqualified